Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Top Agent Podcast. Joined as usual by my co host, Stacey Regula. How are you doing, Stacey?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Today we have Evelyn Honors on the show. What can you tell me about Evelyn?
Well, Evelyn's a eXp agent serving the Greater Toronto area, and she's also part of Zoocasa, which we'll hear more about.
Awesome. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks
Nice
for
to be
joining
here.
So, to start things off, we like to really dig into people's history. So, I'm going to ask you now, what was
Yeah.
life before real estate? Previous careers, if you will.
Yeah. Life before real estate, I had a few different incarnations. I've always been, a self-starter, someone who's been entrepreneurial in a sense. So um, I grew up in, just a working class neighborhood. I am the product of immigrants. So, we didn't have connections here. So we were in, places where people got their start and then moved on. So I was very fortunate in the sense that I was introduced to a very multicultural landscape and different cultures and different work ethics. So I was your typical kid. I went to school. I was very fortunate in my teen years to get an opportunity to attend an open call. And it was for a CBC show. And I got a part on a series that won
Cool.
some Geminis, and Sarah Pauly was involved in it. So it was really like, the seas parted, and I got this lucky break, and I was introduced to this different world, different culture. And what I realized from that is I'm not different from anybody else. We're all the same. I just come from a different block. And these people, they have interesting stories to tell. They have interesting experiences, and I can be a part of that too. So it was a great experience, a great introduction. I feel very lucky to have had that. So I was an actor for about 10 years.
Wow.
Lived in California for about a year, tried my hand. Um, it didn't really pan out, but I say that it was one of the best experiences ever. In that time frame, there's actors that have to have side jobs, which was me. You'd have these great opportunities and then you'd have no opportunities, kind of like real estate. You're used to auditioning for your food, ups and downs, those roller coasters. And I needed to find like something that was a little more stable than, say, working in a bar or doing something else. And I always really enjoyed activity. I'm a pretty active person. So then I developed my own personal training business. And I was so lucky. I had so many great clients that I feel like mentored me. It's kind of like that EXP, feel where people are always, building you up. So I was really fortunate to get a great clientele that I worked with probably for a decade. And I'm still in touch with a lot of them. And they really guided me and mentored me in ways that, they'd been here for generations and they kind of figured out the success path. And it was really a giving path. If I had questions about things, they helped me. They suggested business opportunities for me, always, thought of me. I mean, I think we developed little families along the way. And one of them suggested, he was a big, or a few of them, they were really big in business and working on Bay Street. They're like, you know what, you should really get into real estate. There's some growth curves you can go along the way that maybe aren't the same in this. And I think they knew I was getting tired and I just was hungry for more knowledge. So I got my license. They really helped me figure out, where to find my clients, what my prospecting would be like, growing from there, how to talk to clients. So I was really lucky to be mentored by some really excellent people. Then I, worked in real estate, had my ups and downs as everyone else had. My first years were great because for that whole time, I feel like I've been prospecting forever. But your friends and family, they run out. And then you need to go out and prospect and start again. So, those relationships you build over time are golden. That's where I've really found my secret sauce. It's not such a secret. Develop true relationships. And then, I worked in real estate. I started developing my career. I'd never say I was, a top agent. I was good, but I was never one of the, top agents. But I worked well with people, and I got a lot of referrals, and I made a lot of connections with people in the industry. Then one day, a large mortgage company that, I personally worked with a lot of their agents, they offered me an opportunity to work as their recruiting manager. And I'm like, you know what? This would be a great opportunity for me to work in a business atmosphere, because everything else I'd done had been basically me being the boss, and I don't know everything. And I want to learn stuff from people that have developed things bigger than I have. And it was actually Northwood Mortgage, and the owner of that really mentored me as well. I learned a lot about business and growth, and my job was really to match agents and find the best opportunity. Where is the best opportunity for them? Is it here? Is it somewhere else? And when I had done that for about 2 years, developed my skills, I thought, I might just go back to being an agent and use that and develop my business even more. And then an opportunity came over with Zoocasa, which was originally a Rogers company that, did, inbound sales. So we offered leads to agents across Canada. Then it became a small brokerage across Ontario, doing, a full stop shop, and do the same there. So I'm their director of business development, helping grow and matching agents and growing the business, and learning from the spectacular Zoocasa team. Which brings me to eXp. We got bought out, and we're very excited to be acquired by eXp and have that same kind of learning and adjusting and growing, and learning from each other. And that's what brings me here.
Wow. So from start to finish there, were you licensed through the whole time, or did you give up your license while you were doing that one job?
So for me, it's like I maintained my license. So I got licensed. I think I've been licensed for, when I was acting, I never did any of that. Like when I came back from California, it was really just kind of like, what am I going to do? How am I going to reinvent myself? What do I want to do? Like, where do I want to take these pieces that I've learned from everything? And I really found I had a lot of that I wanted to offer, but I didn't know where to put it. And it was that kind of like growing pains that you feel. It's like, I have this knowledge that I've gained over this time, but I don't necessarily have the platform to share it yet. So when I got back, I got licensed. I've been licensed for 15 years approximately. And I did maintain my license throughout that. I would never give up my license, but I wouldn't say I was a full-time agent during that time. It was just, keeping it going.
Nice.
Now, it's an interesting story because we talk to agents and they all have an individual story about how they were attracted to eXp. I don't think we've ever run across a story where the company you were with was purchased or acquired by eXp.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, I feel like I'm a very lucky person. And I feel as if, attitude has a lot to do with that. And I just am always really grateful of the things I get exposed to that I don't know. And when I'm not in those environments, I kind of gravitate away from them. So I feel like, we create our own luck in a sense. And sometimes, bad luck comes and there's nothing we can do. But the things that we can control is the way we see them, the way we view them, the way we pivot from them. And, I've certainly had my bad luck, but I've tried to extract, okay, what can I take from this? What can I learn from it? How does it make me better? And, who can I talk to in my own sphere that I've come across that has gone through something similar and go through that. So I think I've just really drawn myself to environments that want to do something different, don't want to repeat the same model over and over again, which is where we are today. And how do we make things better for today? And I think eXp is a great model for that.
So how many real estate brokerages did you work for before you came to eXp then?
3.
And were they like mom and pop style, or the the big corporate brokerages?
So what I started off with, and I'm not sure if do you guys have right at home?
No.
Okay, so basically it was a transaction brokerage, so a fee per transaction, and it was a great start because, as I mentioned, I felt like, you know what, I have all of the mentors outside, as I spoke of. I had a lot of investor clients, a lot of friends that were already in the industry working. So when I had questions, I felt like I could go to them. But at the same time, I didn't get the same kind of mentorship you would get in a brokerage where you were in the office every day, going and doing stuff. So I missed out on some gaps there, but I found them elsewhere, and I stayed with that brokerage for, oh gosh, 8 years maybe, or 6 years, a long time. So I'm a person where when I get into something, it's like I want to find the solution. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to work through it. Then I lived downtown Toronto, and I thought there was this boutique brokerage that opened up, and it was, a great marketing, had great marketing, had great systems, had a great office, and it was just around the corner. I'm like, there's something more I can learn, because my marketing was lacking. I worked a lot of repeat referral. I didn't know how to do certain things, and I wanted to grow and learn from them. So I was there for about 4 years maybe. And the only reason I switched is because I went to Zoocasa. And when I got to Zoocasa, the only reason I switched is because we are now a part of eXp. So each of those moves, I would say, I learned what I should have done, and I learned what I did do maybe wasn't the right path. And I can see what we're doing now in terms of Zoocasa and eXp. If I had that in the beginning, I would have been, it would have taken me 2 years to learn what I did in 10.
So when you joined up, eXp is acquired by, or pardon me, Zoocasa is acquired by eXp.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of by attrition end up being an eXp agent.
We transferred over to eXp, all of us.
So you are licensed with eXp then?
So we're licensed with eXp. We're just a team within eXp.
Had you heard about eXp before you had?
Oh yeah, because I've talked to eXp agents all the time.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they were a huge competitor for everything because it's so agent centric. So it's, you really have to figure out, what is your value add and who is the right fit for what you're doing.
Yeah.
I need to ask the question. What show were you on?
Google it.
Don't worry, I plan on it.
I definitely will. I have an idea in my head, but I don't want to be wrong.
It wasn't a big show, so you probably are. It's not in your stratosphere. It's not in anyone's stratosphere.
But we'll find it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're different, right, with the Zoocasa situation. So, one, are you able to tell us a bit about Zoocasa for people who are like, what is Zoocasa? I don't know what this is.
For sure, for sure. So Zoocasa is, so, who we were before. We are, go to zoocasa.com, check out our website, check out, our articles, our blogs. We're a marketing, we have a marketing team that does fantastic research on the market today. Obviously, we were focused on Ontario, but now with this, uh, relationship with eXp at this point, or this acquisition, we're growing across Canada. So we're very excited to be able to talk about real estate in other areas. So we operate as, a platform that shares information. We want clients to come to zoocasa.com when they have questions, search properties. We have, an inside sales team that qualify clients, and then we match them with the agents in our areas. We also operate as, a team where, we have been doing online leads and conversions for quite some time, and we'd like to consider ourselves knowledgeable in that side, and we want to share that knowledge. So it's very much a sharing scenario where, we've seen this work, we've seen this kind of follow-up work. We offer systems, we offer connection to our marketing team, so that agents can grow their portfolio. We want you to build your name with the Zoocasa team, not, someone else's name. So we're really here to develop agents to be a SEAL team, career agents, and grow.
That's excellent. Can you tell us a little bit? So now that you're with eXp, eXp, of course, is different. We offer the revenue share, we offer the stock options. Are you actively participating in any of those things?
I would say I can see that being something I'll, be drawn to, but right now I'm really focused on, what Zoocasa is bringing to the table, and, making sure that agents like yourself understand it, that, we're really out there within the eXp community, so that agents know what we offer. Maybe it's not right for them, or maybe we're, growing in that area in a slower pace, but once we're there, we want to be able to find the right profile agents. We want to be able to service agents, help you guys grow. That's where my initiative is coming from at this point. But I love the fact that, with the sponsorships, with the rev shares, it's something that, say you're talking to an agent that you think would be a right fit, but they need some direction, and maybe they're not in your province, maybe they're somewhere else, but hey, there's this one program I think you might be a fit for. And it's another service that eXp provides to really build agents up. We may not have bricks and mortar, but we have a whole establishment of people that are interested in building agents up.
Yeah,
we're not competing. The better you do, the better we do. So, that is something that's really exciting.
Yes.
And we can see it in our growth, because you're looking at eXp, like, what are we at? 88,000 agents across the world at this point. That happened quick. And why did it happen? Because agents see an opportunity to be able to grow a whole establishment and be a part of it. So, you don't have to just do sales. You can, but you can also be a part of the growth of what I consider a movement.
One of the most interesting things, and one of the things I think that sets eXp apart for me, is that there is a constant search for innovation and improvement to the way that we do things, and providing more and more resources for the agents. It's kind of unheard of.
It's absolutely unheard of. So, you're looking at a brokerage that says, hey, you've got an expertise. What do you want to share? How do you want to share this with our network? How do you want to connect to other agents, so that I can, like, I'm in Ontario, you guys are in Manitoba. It's great that we're talking like this. And it's great that we're talking about how can we work together in the future? Maybe now it's not the right time, but hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is what you're doing. Let's find a way. either now, in the future, or talk to somebody else where we can all make each other more powerful. What's better than that?
That's
Yeah.
so. My question is, if you had an agent couple years in, they're doing good, but they're not where they want to be, what advice would you give them?
So an agent coming into the business not where they want to be. So my suggestion would be, find somebody to model yourself after. Who do you see doing the kind of business that you want to do? Because you may have all, and I see this all the time, actually. I see agents that come in that are, looking to, kill it, and they have all of this energy. It's something I call the 2-year trap with agents, actually. So they come in, they're so excited. They think all I'm going to do is, do a deal a month, and I'm golden. And it's like, okay, all right. Where's it coming from? How are you keeping up with it? Once you've done one deal, how are you going to continue to do that? I mean, studies have shown one closed deal, I think, over the lifetime of that agent should equate to over 120,000 in GCI. But that's the lifetime. How are you keeping in touch with that agent? How are you developing content? What is the data you're sending? How are you communicating with that client? How are you, being an expert for them in a way that you're not irritating them, but they're still getting the information? And technology is a huge point in that. But find a system, find something that you want to model yourself after. And, it's not all the fun stuff. So it's not, the going to properties, the doing the deals, the negotiating. Those are the cherries on top. The real work, it's like an athlete. It happens when you're running on the treadmill.
Yeah.
It
8 hours a day
happens.
at your desk.
Yeah. Yes, it happens when you're, okay, what's my play? It happens when you're reading up on stuff that's happening in regulation. It happens so that when you have that client in front of you, you're like, I know that. I know that property. I know that property. I can understand how this taxation part changed, or I have a pocket listing, whatever it is, you're ready. It happens in the prep work so that when you're out there in public, you know what you're talking about.
Now, you talk to a lot of agents.
Yeah.
How big of a role do you feel social media plays in the real estate business in 2023?
I think if you are somebody that wants to prospect new clients, it's very important.
Yeah.
And I think that shows in online lead generation. I would lump those in together because you need to be able to attract people in a way that, we're not door knocking as much as we used to. I mean, people find great success in it, but it's becoming less and less the thing. It's kind of more the off thing at this point. People want to know you, and they don't want to necessarily come to the office and meet you for a meeting and see your portfolio. They want to follow you. They want to see, okay, what is this person about? Do I like them? And even if I don't like them, do I like what they're saying? Am I learning something from what they're putting out there? There's such competition. I mean, when you think about it, you think about big brands like, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. If they just stopped advertising today, I don't know if they would have that same hold that they do now. And they're pretty advanced, so it's not like, but they're all over the world. That's the first incarnation of, social media. At this point, we can do our own, little, intros to ourselves and keep people interested. And the more interested and the more people feel that they're learning something from what you're talking about, the more they're going to DM you. They're going to say, oh, Stacy, I saw that you put this, or I'm thinking about putting my house on the market, or I was wondering what my home is worth, because they value what you're putting out there. So I think social media is important, but I think it has to have something. You need to be saying something without pushing necessarily a sales agenda.
Yes, that's the balance.
Yeah, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, and that's why there's experts in it, and that's why you want to align yourself with people, systems, groups that
Mhm.
do marketing really well. I mean, since being a part of Zoocasa, my knowledge of marketing has been, has grown exponentially.
It's interesting.
Even emails, like certain things you can do to like rev up your open rates, or how to craft an email. Like, it's interesting.
We're in a
We can
really
learn from each other.
tough spot in Manitoba because to even send emails to people, you need to have a service agreement signed here. So it's difficult for us to do a lot of
Yeah.
advertising and marketing online now because, yeah, we're very limited here. And, I watch a lot of training in the world, and it's all really great training, but some of it I can't apply in Manitoba because of our rules.
So then you guys tell me, like, what, I guess social media would then be your secret sauce, because
Well,
that's that inbound marketing.
yeah, the one thing we're not allowed to do though is to represent, like, post a picture with somebody that's not licensed. So you can't post your clients with the sold sign outside their house. No, like
Okay.
they can't even tag you in that. So
I was wondering, can they tag you? No.
no. And even reviews like on your Facebook page, like that's a no.
You're not allowed to do reviews.
No.
So what about Google reviews?
It's questionable. Yeah, it's we're kind of figuring it out right now, but there's been a lot of, because we're all trying to understand the rules. They came about a year ago.
Yeah.
And
So people were tired of being spammed.
yeah, so like if you're on TikTok, you can't, I can't have an event at my local community center and post it on my business TikTok page because everybody in that video is not in licensed.
So then the best thing to do is talk about,
Real
sales
estate.
in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can post listings and everything. It's just, yeah.
Can you have realtor events that you post because everyone's licensed?
I don't know. I can't remember. Ryan would know better than me, but it's yeah, it's tricky.
Because that would be a great thing if you guys, went
We
to a
did have a
pub
meeting
or went
with,
to a community center.
yeah. So we're learning, but making it
Yeah.
work, adapting to the rules. So
There's always a way, right? And
yeah,
what I say, when you have constraints, that's when creativity comes out the most. So
I feel like
you know
I've made
what?
it
That
work.
sucks, but there's a way that no one's done
Yeah.
that perhaps you guys will be the first to do. And then everyone else will be like, that's a great idea.
There was a lot of realtors posting the sold pictures with the brown bag on their clients.
I think that's great. And then have happy client or something.
Yeah, that was amusing. So we'll make it work.
Yeah. Costumes.
All right, Evelyn, we're going to switch gears a little bit. These ones are a little off topic.
Okay.
Favorite movie?
Oh my God, so many.
She said favorite TV show, so she could tell us again.
Oh my God, there's so many that pop out to me. I really liked recently. I mean, I'll go recently, and it's because I saw Quentin Tarantino in a interview recently. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really liked that one.
Mm-hmm. Very
Nice.
good.
What is your favorite thing to do when you're not doing real estate?
Oh, I like to be active. So, anything that I can be like outside, or like going for really simple, going for a walk by the lake, or being in nature,
Nice.
or maybe, playing tennis.
You're close to a lake?
I am.
What book has had the most influence on you?
I can't pick just one. I know that's terrible. But the books I found that really grab my interest, it's I find it's difficult to attain, clear focus, is biographies. Anything where I'm hearing a story of how someone came from where they started to where they got. That stuff really moves me.
Nice. What's the single best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Ooh, this was something I heard from my mother that her father told her. Once I understood life was hard, it got a lot easier.
That's great.
And to me, it just kind of encompasses, it's like you don't spend time, saying the what ifs or why me's or whatever. It's like, okay, this is hard. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Evelyn, that concludes our show for the day. Just want to say thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
And hopefully we can do it again.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No problem.